I'm a great believer in the saying, everything happens for a reason. One of the only reasons I'm stood here today in the wonderful winter sun, right next to the Sydney Opera House, is a decision I made when I was in my late teens. I was in a bar in Yeovil where I was born with some of my friends, and we were talking about going to Ibiza for a 2-week holiday. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm up for that, guys. And then one of my friends, Martin, he said to me, look, for the same amount of money, you can spend 6 months in Thailand. And I was like, Martin, we don't want to do that. Let's go to Ibiza. And the more I thought of it over that span of that night, I was like, do you know what? I actually do want to see the world. I want experiences. So when I woke up, we went to SDA Travel, and 4 months later, I was on a plane to Hong Kong. It was one of my best all-time experiences, and anyone that is young should definitely go traveling because it opens up your eyes to the rest of the world. I saw Hong Kong and the street markets. I understood how people were selling in markets. I went to Thailand and I got to understand how that culture works. I went to Cambodia and realized the sadness and how lucky I was to be born in the UK. I went to Vietnam and Laos, and in Laos I did something called tubing, and I witnessed just a different form of life. What should have been just 1 year away turned into a much longer stay, because when I got to Sydney, I completely and utterly fell in love. And how could you not? It is such a beautiful city, and I saw so many opportunities. I had got into my mind that Sydney was a place I was going to call home. The only problem was I was a backpacker on a working holiday visa. That did not give me a lot of options for work. So I was doing men in a van removalists, I was doing demolition work, I was unloading other people's containers, and I was running out of money very fast living in Sydney. But I knew that this was a place I had to stay. So one day I was on Gumtree and I was looking at jobs, I was sending out CVs, I was making phone calls, and I took a small break, as most of us do, on Facebook. And when I was on Facebook, my friend Chris had just posted a photo of his brand new car. Now, he was a year younger than me, and this was a £40,000 car. And I was like, Chris, what are you doing? I'm like, are you drug dealing? And he messaged back and he said, no, I'm actually buying goods from China and I'm selling them on eBay. And I was like, oh, well, that's really good. Can I do that too? And he said, yes, you certainly can. You just need to buy the goods from the factory. I'll give you their details, send them 990 USD, and they'll send you the torches and you can put them on eBay. I was like, great. Big problem though, I had run out of money. I only had about $570 in both my UK and my Australian bank account. So I didn't have enough money to do this. Before I left the UK, my mum had given me a credit card. And on that credit card, she told me you can only use this for one of two reasons. One, you're dying, or two, you're buying a flight back to the UK. And in my mind, I was like, Mum, I am dying. I love Sydney and I want to stay here forever. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that without taking a bigger risk. So that's what I did. The factory told me it would take 6 weeks for my goods to arrive. And in that 6 weeks, I had to learn how to write HTML code. I had to learn how to do Photoshop so I could make the photos look good. I had to write a listing for these projectors. And I had to do all of it without actually owning a computer. I was still a backpacker. I was doing this all from libraries and also from internet cafes. It was a crazy time and I was super worried. By the end of the 6 weeks, I only had about $210 in my bank account. It was terrifying to think of the consequences. But luckily, the goods arrived. I got a phone call from my hostel manager. He said, Leigh, there are boxes here. Do you want me to sign for them? I was like, yes, I'll be back in a moment. So I walked back to my hostel, well, ran back to my hostel, and all of the boxes had arrived. I opened them and these torches were beautiful. They're an aircraft grade aluminium. They were super bright. They looked amazing. They had all the accessories you could imagine. But it was getting dark, so I couldn't actually take photos of these items where I wanted to. So I got a green towel, I put it down on the hostel floor, and I took photos just like that. I then ran back to Surrey Hills Library and uploaded the photos. So I'd loaded up my eBay account with as many ads as I possibly could have, and I'd gone to the gym. Now, I was a backpacker, I was running out of money. I literally only had about $200 odd in my account at that point, so I couldn't afford gym membership. So I was doing a 7-day trial, and I was at a gym in Glebe, and it was quite a nice gym, and it had a little spot for your phone. So I was on the cross trainer and I was working out, feeling really sad, really deflated, worrying so much about what I was going to do next. And just in my moment of absolute despair on the cross trainer, covered in sweat, my phone goes ka-ching! And it was the sweetest sound I'd ever heard. And at that moment, it said, you have just sold an item on eBay. And I was like, yes, this is great, fantastic, wonderful news. Then I was on the cross train, I was still going, I had a new lease on life. Another 20 minutes passed and I got another ka-ching. And that was a ka-ching of money had gone into your PayPal account. And I was like, oh my God, the proof of concept moment happened. It is actually real. I can make money online. And that is where it became very real for me. That was the moment that changed everything. Everything happens for a reason. I became obsessed with passive incomes. Nothing was going to stop me setting sail on the seas of sales and marketing. Nothing was going to get in my way. Even when I made myself accidentally homeless. Not everything in your business world is always going to go perfect. There are definitely going to be hiccups and there's going to be roadblocks in your way. One of the things that will define how your business grows is you. How you can control your emotions and how you can control the actions to push forward when things are at their very worst. When things were at my very worst, I'm very glad that I had read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm very glad I read the book Think and Grow Rich. I'm very glad that I read The Compound Effect, because those were books that helped me push through very difficult times in the beginning. With challenging times also come amazing times. And I've had some amazing times. From that very first sale on eBay to being a power seller on eBay to having my very first wholesaling website, Flash Retail, where I was selling goods to Groupon, Living Social, Kudo, My Deal, all the major ones inside Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, to having my very first website, Why Wait Australia, the right way to buy online, where we had 1,000 plus goods go online every single year. We actually ended up having over 4,000 goods online at one time from our warehouse in Bankstown, to having boxing machines and dart machines and vending machines in pubs and clubs all across New South Wales with Flash Gaming. There are other businesses as well, but 2020 happened, and in 2020 I had my very first child, Charlie, with my wife Sam. And it gave me an opportunity to sort of step back and to work out what it was now that I want my focus to be on. So where does my energy need to be aligned? And I came up with 3 new ventures during that time. The first one is growyourmarketing.com.au. I have wanted to take all of the secrets that I've learned through all of the online sales I've done over the last 14 years and condense that into an easy course for everybody to be able to understand. So whether you have been in business for many years or whether you are a complete beginner that doesn't even know what a video sales letter is, this course will help you, and that's Grow Your Marketing. So that's the first one. The second business came from the love of my son, Charlie. I want Charlie to live in a world that is not polluted, that doesn't have floods, that doesn't have fires. And unfortunately, we're not really on the track to achieve that. The world is more messed up than it's ever been. And I want to try and save that, or at least do my part. So my goal with Leigh Waine is to save 26,000 tons of CO2 from the atmosphere every year in Australia. And I'm going to do that by educating, engineering, and maintaining people's solar panels, their insulation, the appliances inside their home. And that's all going to be done through Leigh Waine, which is a brokerage for everything that is eco-friendly in the world. We're also going to be doing some really cool things with recycled material. The world needs to recycle a lot more of its things. I've had about 10 iPhones. All of them have just gone to waste. What a shame. So let's see what we can do to change that. So that's business number 2. When I found out the number of children that are sleeping on other people's sofas, are sleeping in cars, are sleeping in sheltered accommodation, are in the system, according to the last census, there were 19,400 children in Australia that are technically homeless. Those children are not going to be the children that are going to get elaborate birthday parties like my son. They're not going to get massive cakes. And that makes me really sad. And that's why I want to just try and put 1 to 2 to 3 to hopefully, when I get there, 58 smiles a day onto children in need's faces. But I can only do that with the help of so many more people. This is a business that, unlike the other two, will outlive me. And I hope it outlives a lot of the people that are watching this as well. It's the one I'm most excited about. So at the bottom of this page and around me, you can find out how to contact me. You can find out how to look at my businesses. You can look at what you can do to help me, potentially with cake smiles. This is a call to action. If you feel the calling to help just a couple of children, I need a lot of help. So thank you very much for watching my videos, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.